On this week's episode, we have three very special co-stars. Bucky Bark and Snort,
Sister Hazel Frances Grace,
and the artist formerly known as That Black Cat, Onyx. Hi, I'm Felix.
and I'm Cindy.
In 2019, we sold everything and moved into our RV full-time.
Since then, we've traveled the country following my nursing contracts.
We are the Roaming Gomes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Roaming Gomes. I'm Felix.
And I'm Cindy.
And we thought it was high time that you met our traveling companions, what we call our kids. Give you a little background. When we first left North Carolina to go on the road full time, we had all three of our fur babies, Bucky, Hazel, and Onyx. And as you saw in the opening, Bucky and Hazel have kind of gained additional nicknames. Bucky came to us, and it's been, 7 years now?
Yeah.
From a place called Tender Mercies Pet Rescue. What happened was I was actually looking for a dog, a small dog, and the word got out, and in the development that we were living in, there was a person that lived there that did a lot of work with rescue dogs. And she told me that we should go to this place, Tender Mercies, and as it turned out, they had a Chihuahua that was coming up for adoption.
And who could say no to that face?
Exactly. Now, I'd grown up with dogs. I had dogs my whole life. Cindy was not.
We had a dog when I was in high school. We had I think we had a couple of dogs when my mom had a dog, a poodle, toy poodle, when I was young. And then, but as an adult, I hadn't had any animals other than my kids had a dog. My kids and I had a dog at one time, but it was a bigger outside dog.
And they brought Bucky to actually his name at the time was Tuffy. And they brought him to our house just to see how we would get along with him. And
kind of to check us out. That's what they did. They did little house checks to make sure before they placed an animal, they made sure where the animal was going. So. And
the rest is, as they say, history. He wouldn't even, in the beginning, the very first time, he wouldn't leave my side. And then we adopted him. He came to live with us, and as it worked out,
the first day that we had him, I was at home. I was in school, and I was at home. Felix went to work, and he has been Velcroed to my side ever since.
He is very much Cindy's dog. Even though I'm the one that takes care of him all the time, and feeds him and walks him, and
you know how kids are.
Yeah. So at the time we had both Hazel and a different cat that was not Onyx, a cat by the name of Ebby. Ebby was a feral cat that I had actually lured inside, and he became very much a part of the family, and ultimately did what I guess feral cats have a tendency to do. He decided to go roaming. He got out of the house, and we haven't seen him since.
We searched.
For weeks, literally. And had all of my friends there searching.
Put up flyers in the neighborhood.
Everything.
Yeah.
So, Ebby, if you're seeing this, I hope
we're in Arizona
okay.
now.
Yeah, come on. But Hazel, we ended up adopting Hazel by default. We had a next door neighbor who had a Chihuahua by the name of Lily.
Who actually thought she was an actual human baby.
and a queen of her kind. However, this woman also had Hazel, this little kitten.
She was so tiny.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And she asked if we could watch Hazel for a weekend. We had moved away. We weren't living next door to her anymore. We were living in another development. And she asked if she could bring Hazel over and let Hazel stay with us for a weekend. Well, we had Ebby, and I was like, okay, it should be okay. It's a male and a female cat, and both of them were fixed. So she brought her over on a Friday night. Hazel and Ebby got along fabulously. And came Sunday, we get a call from
The neighbor.
who saying, I'm not going to be able to pick her up today. Could you keep her another day? We were like, sure. No big deal. Which turned into, I don't really feel like I can give her the amount of attention she needs because of Lily. And would you guys mind keeping her?
And of course, by then we'd kind of gotten attached to her.
Oh, yeah, we had bonded with her, and Ebby had bonded with her. So we ended up keeping Hazel. Well, after Ebby ran away, to me anyway, Hazel seemed kind of lonely.
Yeah.
And
She and Bucky have never really interacted a whole lot. They do some, but not nearly as much as Onyx and Bucky do.
oh yeah, Onyx and Bucky are the sister and brother that you would expect at teenage years. They love each other. But Hazel's always been kind of like a mother figure in the house, and she'll sometimes groom Bucky and things like that, but
They don't play together or anything.
yeah. Well, we decided after Ebby ran off into the night that we were going to get another cat. We walk into PetSmart, which has the cat adoption agency in the back, and I walked into the area, and there was this black cat, this little tiny black kitten, and I said I'd like to pet her, or see about it, see how she is. I took her out and I was cradling her in my arms, and she was like, okay, we can stay here for the rest of eternity.
She's very much a cuddler, and
Yeah.
she snuggled right down, and I knew that was it. It was over.
Yeah, we brought her home that day. And her and Hazel have bonded incredibly. Like I said, Bucky and Onyx, it's kind of a love-hate relationship, think of a typical brother-sister rivalry or whatever. But they get along great. And, I mean, I've told the story about how the window exploded in our RV. And when that happened, Bucky, Hazel, and Onyx all ran for the hills. I mean, it was a really, really loud noise. And I went to check on them to see if they were okay. And Hazel was sitting on one side of the bed, between the bed and the wall. On the other side of the bed, between the bed and the wall, Bucky was kind of way back in, and Onyx was standing guard in front of him, like she was protecting him. So that'll give you an idea. It would be like that from the movies. That's my brother. Only I can insult him.
The only person who gets to torture my brother is me.
She can beat up on him, but nobody else is going to.
Exactly. When we decided that we were going to go on the road and live in the RV full time, there was never a doubt. I mean, we were taking all three of them with us.
Yeah.
It was like taking our children. So we just let them adapt to the RV slowly as it sat in our driveway in our previous residence. The one thing that bothered me was when we were going from one place to another in the truck that I used to have. I had to take the two cats in their carriers, individual carriers, and put them on my front seat because I didn't have a back seat in that truck. And that actually is one of the reasons that we bought a different truck. I mean, the main reason being that it was much better to tow with, but it also has a very large back seat, and we can now use this showcase, this show carrier, to transport the cats from place to place. And the two cats ride with me in the tow vehicle and in my Ford, and Bucky rides with Cindy.
Because he can't be away from me.
Exactly. And she takes a little bag of treats and keeps them in the pocket in her door, and she'll give him a treat every now and then, and he has his own blanket and he's buckled in, and the girls are buckled in the back of my truck, and they even have we have enough room in that carrier for them to have a little small litter box. So, I mean, and when we stop, we take a break, we'll give them water, all of them. And that's something I definitely would want to say to anybody just starting out on the road with pets. Never, ever let them travel in your travel trailer.
No, no.
Okay, you can't.
Even in a kennel or anything.
Yeah, I mean, because even if something falls and it won't hurt them, like it can't land on them, they are going to be terrified. That you have to think of that as like a 3 on the Richter scale earthquake going on in there at all times while you're on the road. So
Just
please,
not safe at all.
please never ever let them ride in your travel trailer or your fifth wheel. They go everywhere we go. Bucky likes his walks every day, twice a day. He has to have his walks twice a day. He is an animal of routine.
Wonder where he gets that from.
Can't imagine. And Hazel is still an escape artist. Okay, I don't know if she got that from Ebby, but I don't think so, because she used to be an escape artist when she was with our neighbor, and she was a little kitten. But the last time Hazel escaped,
It was tragic.
it was actually, it was tragic.
It was tragic for me.
And me. She ran out into the desert over here and got a very large piece of cholla in her back hindquarters. She wouldn't let us go near her.
And the sounds what got me was the sounds she was making. It was horrible.
It was like this deep crying.
It sounded like.
Yeah, like sobbing almost. But she is the one that will always come back. And we do everything in our power to make sure that she doesn't get out. To the point where, like, when Cindy's at work, when I know she's coming home from work, I'll put Hazel in the bedroom, close the door, and now Cindy can just come in and go out, and there's no problems. Onyx is, for some reason or another, almost deathly afraid of the outdoors. She'll stick her nose over the threshold and just like sniff around out here and
Turn around and go back.
turn around and just go back in. And she's, like we said earlier, Bucky is Cindy's dog. Onyx is my cat.
Also a creature of habit, because anytime we sit down to watch television, she's right in his lap,
Immediately.
snuggles down, takes a nap herself.
And Bucky is on your lap. And Hazel is generally on the, we call it a dog bed. We bought it for Bucky, but it has become Hazel's bed.
And she's very happy about that because nobody's bothering her. She can be by herself.
That's right. And that's really all you need to know about Hazel. She doesn't mind being by herself. We often will find her in the closet, in the bedroom closet, just kind of back in the corner, out cold.
She likes her me time. I understand that.
Yes, yeah. I think she thinks of that closet as her she shed. But Onyx just wants to be with me, and Bucky just wants to be with her. And as long as they have that, they're happy. Little funny story with Onyx. She did get out once, very recently, like within the last couple of weeks. And I didn't even have to step outside. I was still standing in the door, and I went, psst, psst. And she came literally dashing back up the stairs into the RV.
I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. I
Yes.
don't want to be outside.
Exactly. Don't make me be outside. Hazel just stays away. She likes to play a game when she's out.
It's called You Can't Catch Me.
Right. And then it takes something like scaring her or just slightly frightening her, and that's it. She's back in.
Oh, we have to tell about the time we thought we were going to walk the cats on a harness. So we've seen people in RV parks walk their cats, and we thought, we should try that. Then they could go outside safely. We could keep on a leash like we do Bucky, and they get to sniff around outside and then come back in. Wasn't going to happen. We put the harness on Onyx, and she just played dead. I've never seen anything
It was like somebody shot her.
Hilarious. We could literally drag her across the floor with the leash on the harness. She didn't care. As long as that harness was on her, she was not.
She had no legs.
She was like bones, no bones. She had no bones. She just literally lay on the floor and would not get up with the harness on.
Not even whimpering or crying or any of that. Just
Unresponsive.
Yes, unresponsive. You've made me faint, like the fainting goats.
It was hilarious, but we've never figured it out.
And Hazel, it's not even worth it.
No.
It took me like forever to even get the harness on her, and by the time I turned around and looked back, she was already
out of it. Yeah.
So
the harnesses did not work out for the cats.
no, or for us. Anyway, now you know about our fur kids.
The only thing different between real kids and fur kids is real kids grow up and move away. These aren't going anywhere.
No. And if you want to see more about RVing with pets, check out this video right here.